I'm a fairly big anime fan, but the initial seeds of my fandom can definitely be traced back to late nights watching Dragon Ball Z on Adult Swim's Toonami. I definitely wasn't supposed to be up at that time of night, but I just had to find out what was going to happen next time on Dragon Ball Z. Now, as an adult who discusses film and television far more than I should, I've found that the vast majority of DBZ fans will say that Vegeta is the best or their favorite character, and I find it interesting that despite Vegeta never getting the chance to defeat the big villain to close out an arc, he's such a fan favorite still. So in this video I'll be taking a look at the story of Pride is a word you're going to be hearing a lot throughout this video, as Saiyan pride is the core of what Vegeta stands for and holds dear. Now, this pride and arrogance leads to Vegeta making a lot of questionable and flat-out dumb decisions throughout the show, but this sort of character flaw actually is part of what makes Vegeta such an endearing and everlasting character, because no matter how much development, growth, and failure he experiences throughout the course of this series, he remains a prideful Saiyan. I think that we as fans can relate to and enjoy this aspect of his character so much, because we all have some kind of moral code or beliefs that we will just always uphold. So seeing a character go through so much and get knocked down time and time again, but yet still retain what he believes in, is satisfying to see in many ways. When we first meet Vegeta, he is essentially a mercenary for Frieza, simply biding his time until he can find a way to become stronger than Frieza and kill him. As the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta's destiny was to eventually take over as the king and lead the Saiyans into a new age of power, but when Frieza blew up their planet, Vegeta was robbed of his destiny. You see, Vegeta was constantly praised as an elite from the day he was born, but is now forcefully under the heel of Frieza. Yet he is still extremely prideful, and we see this on full display in his Saiyan Saga fight with Goku, which is a huge moment for his character arc. Not just because he ultimately loses, but because he learns a valuable lesson on the power of training. Although Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe intervene to a certain extent, Vegeta largely loses this fight due to his pride. If he had just taken Goku as a serious threat from the jump, he and Nappa could have easily defeated Goku together. His pride and unwillingness to even consider these weak Earthlings and a low-class Saiyan as potential threats is what causes his defeat. This, in combination with the feats that Vegeta watches Goku perform during Frieza Saga, force Vegeta to accept that hard work can beat talent when that talent doesn't work hard. And so going forward, post-Frieza Saga, Vegeta begins to train and gains a sizable work ethic to match his sizable pride. While he is still of a similar mindset as he was at the beginning of Saiyan Saga, we see that Vegeta is starting to evolve, and future Trunks plays a major role in this evolution. While he doesn't show any major signs of outward affection towards future Trunks, he does start to take pride in his son. Vegeta's strong pride is now beginning to encompass his family, not just himself. He boasts about how strong his son is to imperfect Cell, and when Trunks is killed by Cell at the Cell games, Vegeta completely unleashes on him in a fit of rage, despite knowing that he doesn't stand a chance of defeating him, showing that he definitely felt some type of way about his son's death. Post-Cell Saga, Goku is dead, and this has a major impact on Vegeta as without his rival around, he's just kind of training for fun now and enjoying his family. But when Goku returns 7 years later, we see that Vegeta's fire and pride have not dissipated. Just to ensure he gets his rematch with Goku, Vegeta strikes a deal with Babidi in order to gain Majin powers that will put him under mind control. Now, a lot of people would classify this as a reversion to his past self, but I actually don't see it that way. You see, not only has Vegeta's pride grown to now encompass himself and his family, but I think the deal he makes with Babidi actually shows that he respects and takes pride in his rival, Kakarot. You see, he makes the deal to ensure that he fights uninhibited against Goku, which shows that he now respects Goku and considers him a worthy rival, something that Saiyan Saga Vegeta would never have been capable of doing. Even as Vegeta speaks about not living as Goku's second, and how every breath Goku takes is an assault upon his honor, I think he's showing insecurities that an earlier Vegeta wouldn't have been capable of having, as he is in a way admitting that he has been inferior to Goku up until this point, which means he respects Kakarot deep down. I think this being Vegeta's true feelings gets confirmed later in Buu Saga, as he's willing to fuse with Goku, something they thought would be a permanent transformation. And we even see that when Vegeta attempts to sacrifice himself and take Buu with him, he says, "Trunks, Bulma, I do this for you. And yes, even for you, Kakarot. Which I think is pretty definitive confirmation that Vegeta's pride has expanded even further to now include Goku, as he is no longer just a low-class Saiyan in Vegeta's eyes, but a proper rival. Now, I've heard some people make the comparison of pride as being like Vegeta's drug, as even when he's seemingly clean for 7 years with Goku's absence, he ends up reverting back to it once Goku is resurrected. But I disagree with this notion, because his pride is not always a negative or a burden. It becomes his strength at times, and ultimately becomes his way of showing love to his family, and yes, even to Kakarot. And while it does cause him to make stupid decisions from time to time, this is what makes him a complex yet relatable character. None of us are perfect, and seeing someone fail over and over, yet still trudge forward holding on to their beliefs, is inspiring in a way. And failure is imbued into the very essence of what a Saiyan is. A Saiyan oftentimes will grow stronger as a fight goes on, and will break through their limits when they're beaten down. So through failing and losing, they adapt and grow. And Vegeta embodies this better than any character throughout Dragon Ball Z. All in all, through his failures and shortcomings, Prince Vegeta is able to continuously grow and evolve throughout Dragon Ball Z, and while he is not the strongest Saiyan by the end of the series, I believe that he truly embodies what Saiyan pride is, and proves himself worthy of having the title of Prince of all Saiyans. Because no matter what anyone managed to do to his mind or body, one thing Vegeta always kept was his pride. If you made it this far and enjoyed this video on Vegeta, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, as I will continue breaking down and analyzing screen stories. And if you agree or disagree with anything I said, or would just like to share your thoughts on Vegeta, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.